The moment Sarah Caldwell first unwrapped the Marina doll on Christmas morning of 2014, she felt that peculiar chill in her bones. Not a wintry cold, but something subtler, as though the air itself had paused to stare. The doll's porcelain skin was flawless, its glassy gray eyes fixed in an eternal, inscrutable gaze. Its glossy auburn curls were tied back with a silver ribbon, and dangling from its neck was a tiny charm, a miniature music box that, when wound, would play a gentle lullaby. Sarah placed the doll on her daughter Lily's bedside table, thinking nothing more of it until late that night, when the lullaby played itself. Over the next 2 years, the doll behaved exactly as any ordinary battery-powered toy would. Lily would wind the music box, and Marina would croon a soft melody. But in the autumn of 2016, a strange shift began. One evening, Sarah heard the lullaby drifting through the dark hallway without any winding. She rushed into Lily's room to find the Marina doll perched on the bed's headboard. Its head tilted in a curious nod. No batteries had been replaced, and the winding key lay untouched on the floor. By spring of 2017, Marina had taught herself new phrases. At first, it was a single line, a hushed "Good night, my dear," uttered in perfect English. Then, almost overnight, the voice shifted. In the dead of night, Sarah awoke to a soft, melodic echo of
Buenas noches, mi amor.
It was Lily's voice, but filtered through something alien. The syllables were precise, the accent impeccable. Sarah checked the doll's language chip. There was no dual language feature. The charm on the doll's neck bore only one setting, lullaby. Yet Marina continued to alternate at random intervals between English and Spanish, never repeating the same phrase twice in one session. Concern turned to alarm when, on July 21st, 2018, the doll began to sing the refrain from an old children's hymn that neither Sarah nor Lily recognized. The melody wavered, growing discordant as if the doll had scavenged fragments of memory from somewhere deep and broken. At times, the lullaby slowed to a crawl. At others, it sped up, its cheerful tone warped into something frantic and mournful. Through all this, the Marina doll never powered off completely. Even when Sarah flipped the switch to off, the doll's faint humming persisted, like a dying engine refusing to stall. That December, the Caldwells decided they had suffered enough. On a bleak December night, Sarah wrapped the doll in heavy plastic bags, taped them tight, and tossed Marina into the municipal dumpster behind their apartment building. She felt relief as she drove home, certain that the doll's haunting song would never find them again. But 2 weeks later, she discovered Marina nestled inside Lily's toy chest, untouched and eerily pristine. Sarah's heart pounded as she rifled through the trash bins outside. Marina was nowhere to be seen. Exhausted and terrified, Sarah sat on Lily's bed and watched the doll's silver charms swaying gently, though no breeze stirred. The lullaby resumed, soft and insistent. In early 2019, Sarah consulted experts, toy technicians, electrical engineers, even child psychologists. None could explain how a standard battery-powered doll could operate on phantom power, switch languages on a whim, or survive submersion in garbage bags without so much as a scratch. Some suggested simple circuits and moisture-triggering contacts. Others whispered of telekinetic energy, seated in childhood toys by grief or lingering rage. But no matter the explanation, Marina continued her nightly serenades. By May of 2019, Lily had grown frightened of her own plaything. Sarah, desperate, wrapped Marina in 2 more garbage bags and buried her beneath the heaviest refuse at the bottom of the dumpster. She left town for a week of work, sleeping in a hotel far from the Caldwell apartment. When she returned, she found Marina perched on the windowsill, framed against the rising sun's glare, as though she had always belonged there. The charm quivered, and the lullaby crawled into life once more. In late summer, Sarah arranged for Marina to be shipped to her sister in Tacoma, a woman she trusted implicitly. She sealed the doll in padded mailing tubes, addressed them with their official postmark. But 2 weeks later, she learned from her sister that the package had never arrived. TSA had intercepted the parcel as unmarked refuse. Sarah was told the doll had been incinerated. She felt a measure of peace, that is, until she noticed the faint glow of a music box melody drifting through her living room one evening. There, on her grandfather's antique sideboard, stood Marina again. The doll's porcelain face held no malice. Its features were too perfect, too still. But in its static calm lay the true terror, a toy reborn beyond human design, feeding on the family's fear, refusing to die. The lullaby, once sweet and comforting, had become a promise, a whisper of something that would never rest. At this point, Sarah resolved to record Marina's every utterance. She left cameras rolling in Lily's bedroom for days on end, capturing the doll's nocturnal recitals. The footage showed Marina alone in the frame, the room empty, yet voices echoed, no words understandable to human ears, but rhythms and patterns that defied mechanical repetition. Experts later identified faint undertones resembling long-forgotten hymns, whispered in languages that have no name. Finally, in October of 2019, Sarah and Lily drove to a remote cabin deep in the Cascades. There, under the watchful gaze of towering pines and a sky unlit by city glow, they thought to end Marina's reign. They immured her within a steel-walled safe, welded shut and buried beneath a cairn of stones. For a while, the melody ceased, and Sarah believed the nightmare was over. When the first snow fell, Sarah visited the cairn alone. The ground was soft. Rain had seeped through cracks. Cupping her hands, she unearthed a single scrap of silver ribbon, the ribbon from Marina's hair, fluttering in the cold breeze. That night, the lullaby returned, richer and deeper than ever, as though the doll's voice had merged with the wind itself. To this day, the Marina doll's lullaby drifts through the Caldwell home, a lullaby that neither mother nor daughter can switch off, a melody that pulses in the walls and hums beneath the floorboards. Neighbors report hearing a distant music box at odd hours. Friends claim their own dolls sometimes awaken and speak of Marina. And Sarah Caldwell, once certain this was only circuitry gone awry, now knows the truth. Some toys are born not in factories, but in the spaces between reality and dreams. And once they learn to sing, there is no turning them silent again. Come to the channel. The full horror awaits.